Well, hello, folks, and welcome, believe it or not, to shows number 267 and 268.
Who'd ever thunk?
Who would have thought of that? So we've been at this now for,
I don't know, when the hell did
I'm
we
not
start
positive, but I believe we started this in 2014. So if I'm any mathematician, that's got to be 10 years.
this? It was in my book of 2014.
Yeah. So I'm telling you, time has flown by.
That's right.
So
Just think that was, what, 10 years ago?
Yeah,
We were kids then.
we're pups.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dwayne Weiss to my immediate right, and I'm Bill Crane. Now look at us.
Why not? You lost hair, I gained 100 pounds. Hell, what's going to happen the next 10 years?
I don't know, but I'm willing to give it a try.
I hope I see it.
That's right. I hope we're both here for the next 10. Well, this is the Bill Crane Report, and welcome aboard, folks. Nice to have you. Dwayne,
Yes, sir.
one thing that happened is I got a blurb on TV as I left the house. College enrollment has dropped
Yes, it has.
for the 12th year in a row.
Yep.
What the devil is that all about? Rising costs? or-
Costs.
Are the trades also beginning
Yeah.
to cut into college
The last few
education?
years, the trades have really cut into
Yeah.
it because they're come to realize that a plumber, electrician, a carpenter, or HVAC guy can make a lot more than some kid going off to college and doing certain jobs.
They can get involved in a year or two,
Mm-hmm.
go through an apprenticeship program, a training program, and they're out making decent money.
Exactly.
And once they're certified as whatever it is, like journeyman or
Mm-hmm.
master or whatever it is in the trade they're in, man, I'll tell you what, they are doing very well.
Well,
And you know what? I'll tell you what, in a lot of instances, I think in my life, a plumber is more important than a damn college professor
Oh, yeah.
teaching Egyptian history.
I think if you look in that bag that I left on your desk, there's one of the magazines got a article in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
About why the college kids are going other ways.
Well, I'll tell you, I think it's a good trend. I really and truly
Oh,
do.
yeah.
And you know the next trend I want to see? I want to see us tax those endowments that those big schools have. I mean, they're getting away with murder. If they were performing what they should be doing as a university, teaching kids to think, teaching them history, teaching them lessons that we learn from history. But instead, it's the new generation, we've got to teach them this new baloney. No way.
No, they got too much politics and idealism got into the system. See that? I agree that we should teach them things like certain things about history and stuff, but there are certain subjects or disciplines. I think that should be minimal. When you get into a STEM subject, I wouldn't be wasting my time with philosophy and English literature and ancient British history and.
Well, you know, I think though that I think it's important because you're not. Obviously, the public schools, grades 1 through 12, aren't doing exactly a barn burner job with the kids. But I think that American history needs to be taught.
Yeah, basic. But
basic. It doesn't have to be.
It should have been done in high school.
story
but
behind
it wasn't.
the story.
It should have been done in high school.
Absolutely, it should have been.
It should have been 3 or 4 years of U.S. history in high school, and then.
Yeah.
But it's not. And there's so many courses that I walked out of college, and I can remember it's about this time of year, and it was hot, warm, And I walked out that door from taking the final, and I got 15 feet down the hall, and I couldn't tell you one thing about that course. And that's not alone. I mean, a college kid like that has no interest but has to take it. You get it for the exam. You sit down, you write the exam, and said, "I am done with this."
And supposedly, you have to pass it.
Well, I mean, you wrote the exam, yeah.
I wonder how much of that is enforced.
What?
In order to graduate, you have to pass American history.
Oh, I don't know. It's not a. They really don't. Well, I shouldn't say that because, hell, it's been
500 years?
500 years since I got to college. But they don't look particularly at what courses. They look at your overall.
Well, I know that, but I was always told American history you had to pass in order to graduate.
No,
No?
no, I didn't have to. If you didn't even have to take American history.
Oh, really?
No, you could have took something else.
Oh, we had to.
You had to have so many humanities.
Oh, now I'm talking high school.
Oh, high school.
High school.
I don't know. But
Yeah.
yeah, probably that.
Yeah.
No, college. You could take a.
Oh, yeah,
humanities.
you can. It has to be a mishmash.
Yeah,
you
could-
can
you could
choose
took-
your mish or your
Yeah,
mash.
you mish or mash. And I sure the hell wasn't going to take early English history with all the kings and the queens and all that stuff. If I have to take a history, I want something that's at least semi-relevant.
Yeah, I learned about the queens of the 1650s. Or
Yeah, oh,
something.
jeepers.
I got one queen that's alive and well that I
We don't
take
need
care
another
of.
one, do we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
my niece, God almighty, my granddaughter right now is, I think as we said here, she's probably involved in her finals out in Syracuse. And I'm sure she's got 4-point to first. It's her end of her freshman, so if she gets a 4-point again, I don't know what Dad has promised her, but she usually negotiates some fairly substantial.
yeah. Well, you sent me to this damn place in the snow belt.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
she
yeah.
picked it, so it's not.
Really?
Oh God, yeah. It came down to Syracuse or USC, University of South Carolina. And I said to her, I said, "Have you looked at a weather map or weather history between those two?" I said,
You know, I don't know whether you folks know it or not, but Syracuse doesn't get the headlines Buffalo gets.
"But they get the snow."
Erie
Yeah.
gets. But boy, they sure get the snow.
Yeah, that's I had a couple of big accounts in Syracuse, and they said, "We get the snow, Buffalo gets the headlines."
Yeah.
Yeah.
This morning, I was in a rather pensive mood.
Really?
Yeah. And I when I get dressed, I'm a creature of habit. Patting here,
Oh, yeah.
patting here, making sure I get everything.
Well, I call it the Big Four. When I pick up the Big Four. I got my wallet, my keys, my car keys, my door keys, and my cell phone. As long as those four are accounted for, then I'm all set.
I got my LL Bean jackknife.
There you go.
Over here, I got my car keys. Back here, I got my wallet. And back here, I have two things. My notebook
Oh, gee.
and Mr. Handkerchief.
No, I carry two.
Yeah, I may have to start that. My nose has been running with these
Oh, my
bloody
God.
allergies. So I went to the drawer this morning and I grabbed a clean handkerchief. And I looked at it and I said, I wonder how old that is. I cannot remember buying a handkerchief in my life.
I've never bought one.
I'm 83 years old. Now, I've been toting one of these suckers around for 70 years.
Mm-hmm.
I do not remember ever buying one. Yet, I've got a couple of hand-me-downs My grandfather, Bill Sullivan, who died in 1971, I believe it was, as a remembrance, I grabbed a couple of his handkerchiefs. He had an S in the corner.
Okay, sure.
But I've never remembered buying them.
I know I've gotten them as Christmas gifts, and sometimes as a joke, because when you were a kid, boy, you didn't want handkerchiefs or underwear or even a shirt.
Toothpaste.
Yeah, that was not Christmas. That was not a gift. But mine change periodically because my clothes go through an inspection process when it's laundered,
You have an inspector?
and things disappear. No word said. It's just gone. And I noticed some of my handkerchiefs are gone. And I said sometime, I said, I had some nice soft handkerchiefs. I like it. It didn't hurt you, I threw those old yellow things away. I said, well, they're my favorites. She says, I know, that's why I threw them away.
I had the same conversation.
My T-shirts tend to get culled out. And it's always the comfortable stuff, though, that leaves.
Well, I noticed once in a while a pair of jeans happens to be
That's
missing.
another one. Yep.
And the jean inspector just quietly disposes of
I had to
those.
remind her. She said, "Those you can't wear those raggy old things out of the house anymore." I said, "I happen to know that those raggy old things are in style."
And she said, "There's nothing in style with you,
not in this
buddy."
house. They're not. So. Well, the kids buy them all ripped
All
up.
ripped to hell.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have a prediction.
All right. What is it?
A bold prediction. President Biden, to totally hide from the public, is going to put himself in the witness protection program and live undercover in North Dakota as a retired pizza chef.
Maybe. He has been kind of a not persona non grata, but persona missing.
Been elusive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he feels well.
I don't think so.
You can just see how he's walking now.
Yeah,
When you do see it.
You're right. If that were my grandfather, I'd sit down with him and say, Gramp, something's cooking here, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
His speech, the 2.5-minute speech, was he read something off of the teleprompter, described a problem, but offered no solution, and he did it with all the intensity of somebody talking about recycling cardboard or something.
Yeah, I don't know this. None of us do, but I really suspect that in the background, they're scrambling. The Democratic Party is scrambling right now to find a alternate just in case.
I agree with you.
And I think that they're holding on, propping him up as long as they can. And if it gets to the point where they can't, then just out of the blue, you're going to turn TV on and they're going to say breaking news. And
Yep, that's right.
It's going to be done.
The White House will be speaking in a press release.
Well, I don't know how else you could do it.
I don't either.
You never want to, as a company or a country, in today's antagonistic societies, say, well, our president's almost dying. He can't function anymore. You don't want that. You want to stay strong, and then you can change at once, but you don't want to say, well, because you never know these crackpots out there.
Effects of that
What's
too.
that?
I mean, the stock market would crash.
Mm-hmm.
People would lose confidence.
Exactly.
There'd be all kinds of crazy decisions people would
the
make.
best you can do, folks, is just hang on, just wait, see what happens here.
I agree with you, and I think that if we could get a snapshot of what goes on behind closed doors, I think it would look like an old battleship and a whole bunch of planes scrambling to get in the air because of incoming bad guys.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they've got this, but you know what? there hasn't really been a leak about it. So
No.
maybe it's only 3 or 4 of the key advisors.
Well,
because
it can't be a lot more, or it would get out.
yeah, that's right. And even how long can 4 people keep it quiet too, you know?
No, 4 can't. Very rarely can 4 people keep anything.
Exactly.
There's studies done on that.
Yeah, yeah. Like, now listen, I'm going to tell you a secret. You keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
All right? You're as much as saying, when I walk, don't let me hear you repeat this while I'm walking away.
They got studies that show if you robbed a bank, your chances of you getting away with it is such a. If you and I do it together, our chances of getting caught go way up. And if we bring a third partner in, then it skyrockets. Fourth, you might as well forget. Well, you're going to get. You maybe not get caught that day, but someplace down the road we're going to get caught because we got too many people already.
Loose lips sink ships.
Look at the Brinks.
Yeah.
They made a pact. They would not tell anybody anything, anybody, and that money was to be put away, not touched for 7 years or something, whatever the what do they call it, term limit? Not term limit.
Well, you know what? I don't know if they can. I think they can prosecute bank robberies
Well, they probably
longer
could.
than 7 years. But you're dealing with
whatever. There is a term, and it got down to one of them had to tell his wife, probably pillow talk. That still didn't make anything wrong.
Really? Yeah.
But she came home one day fuming. Mrs. Jones thinks she's so smart. She got a new fur coat. She says, well, you can touch my coat, but I know you could never afford anything like that. And I had to tell her, well, you're not so smart. We got $3 million. We just can't touch it yet. She says, yeah, where from? Don't tell anybody, but it came from the Brinks robbery. That was it. She couldn't keep her mouth shut. She was mad at Mrs. Jones.
Do you know what, Dwayne? That brings up a great subject.
Segue.
I'm jumping way ahead.
This is a segue.
Yeah. This is one of the things. Men are happier at work than women.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, what really speaks to is God created men and women. They're different.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know exactly how you felt, but I know that I was very happy working. A great sense of accomplishment. I was feeding my family. I'm spending money in my pocket back in my single days, and standing on my own 2 feet. And I enjoyed going to work. I worked hard, no matter what job I had, because I wanted to get promoted. I think this article says that men are happier at work, and it really doesn't pin down, to me, the reasons why. And it does touch upon the fact that the men make more money than women.
Yeah, if you look at it
on a percentage
overall
basis.
scale, it's true.
And I think that talks women off.
Yeah.
And rightly or wrongly. But to me, men go to work, we have good jobs. You and I both.
Mm-hmm.
We had fun on our jobs.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we were working, but we also were interfacing with people, selling stuff, and having a good time.
Right.
And after hours, well, I have to take Ed and his wife out to dinner tonight, a big customer, and all that stuff. And where the wife goes to work. After she gets the kids' breakfast,
There now you're getting.
Packs-
I think we're getting to the crux of the problem.
packs their lunch,
Yeah.
is the one that gets called if the kid gets sick
Sick
at
in
school.
Yep.
And then at night has to clean house, get supper for the kids, and do all the other things like balance checkbook, pay the bills. I mean, and her workday comprises a hell of a lot more hours than your and my workday.
Plus, you can back up from that.
Yeah.
Now, I know the modern day woman doesn't think this way, but most of them do. Whenever you were little kids, it's what are you going to be? What are you going to do when you grow up? A little boy is already setting his goals. Now he may want to be a cowboy, you know.
Right.
You know, my son wanted to drive the garbage truck during the week and race a race car on the weekend. So.
Drive a bulldozer.
Or a bulldozer, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. But they had something in mind. Now, a little girl was and still is to a certain point, still a homemaker.
She's mama's little girl.
That's right. They still play with dolls. They still have little kitchen sets. Nothing bad about that. It's just
They
the
have
way
tea
it
parties.
is. Some of the feminists, the Me Too group, and some of the other groups try to fight that.
Yep.
Oh, no. They should be thinking about
That's right.
becoming engineers or
Yeah,
jet
get your
pilots.
jeans on and get out there and play football
That's
with the
right.
boys.
But it doesn't really work that way.
Doesn't.
And so consequently, I think men, when they get into a profession, they're expected to have a profession all their life. So there are women out there that are in the workforce that would much rather be home.
Yeah.
The bottom line is,
I think you see that also in the Army.
Oh yeah.
I know that.
Well,
There-
there are men out there working that would much rather be home.
Yeah.
But
Well,
overall,
absolutely.
overall, there is a certain degree of
But the Army, I guess there's some real problems in the Army with morale. Women are in charge of men, and that causes a big problem.
there are some men that have a problem with that.
That's right.
Really a problem with it.
Yeah. And again, it goes back to the order of things. The man is raised as the provider, the
Yeah,
rough, tough guy.
exactly,
I go
yeah.
out and get the meat and bring it home.
Right.
And you are the household coordinator. Well, like it or not, I'm getting into all kinds of deep water here. But
With only a certain group.
yeah,
No, these kind of things you got to look at as overall as mankind. Now, the feminists that are trying to change, or the guys that we're masculine and we're not this, they're the fringe. There's a certain percentage, but they're not the norm. Things still are what they were, and they've been for thousands of years.
it's a difficult situation, and I think that returning to the way things were or should be is one of the problems why we have skirmishes here and misunderstandings. But the work hours, it just seems to me that's one of the really big differences as far as women being happy at work or men being happy at work. But yet, there are some women that, well, I think the vast majority of women are pretty reasonable and work well. And I saw a lot of stuff go on at a major company that I worked at. And that's another subject for later on, I guess. But the people at the Federal Trade Commission FDTC or whatever the heck it is. FDIC, Federal
FDI.
Deposit Insurance Corporation, is rift with men taking sexual advantage of women and hammering them and coercing them into sex. And so this has been running rampant for years. It's a big story in the Wall Street Journal. But you know what bottom line is? This has gone on since the dawn of mankind.
Yep.
I saw stuff that would turn your hair blue working for a major company, of supervisor and worker. And it finally, they hired someone in personnel that started sorting things out. There was resignations, there were firings. This guy was let go, she was let go. But what happens? It happens invariably when men and women work together.
Yeah.
It is the nature of things. Now, don't say that it certainly is not right that a guy takes advantage of his position and says, well, look, either we kind of get things together or no raise for you next year.
You know, that's totally different than they call it harassment today.
Oh, sexual harassment.
It used to be just ordinary kidding around.
Right. Oh, yeah.
But then you got a couple of sensitive ones, and all of a sudden decided to make a issue out of it, and it became a major.
Oh, hi, Judy. You look nice today.
Oh, even
you
that.
can't say that.
I'm talking more than that. I know you can't say that anymore. I worked at a company. I didn't have a whole lot of experience inside. I did everything, mostly it was in the field. But we had a large warehouse. And those warehouse guys, they were always having a good time out there. You say about happy at work, that was a social club out there, all of them. Loud, laughing, pulling pranks on each other and everybody else. And some of the secretaries would go out and they'd say, hey, Hot Lips, how you doing? You know, and they had names for all of them.
Yeah.
And then those days, the women laughed.
They did.
They thought it was funny.
And a lot of them went right along with the kid
and
and enjoyed
one
it.
of them would say, well, you're not hot enough for me. You know. But it was always that joshing back and forth. But it was never mean. It was just the way they did it. And, now, oh my God, now it would have been, there have been lawsuits.
You know, if she came out and someone said, good morning, Miss Judy. What do you mean by that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't even, like you said, you can't say, well, boy, a new dress, you look beautiful in that. Or you say, oh, I like your hair that way.
Yeah.
You can't compliment.
Can't do that.
No.
Well, it's out of bounds.
Yep. Just ignore it.
That's right. Yeah. And then you get accused of being rude and ignoring me when I walked into your office. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's
the old story. Men can't win.
You can't. Well, yeah, it's a no-win for just about everybody now.
It is a no-win all the way around. Yeah. Well, Dwayne, this is the moment you've been waiting for. What would you prefer?
Okay, we ought to have a little music theme.
If we had a producer that was on top of it.
He's shaking his head. Yes.
Oh yeah, he said it's going to happen. Free groceries for life, or free clothing for life?
Oh, groceries.
Yeah, me too.
I can get by with my clothes. I could have a couple pair of jeans, some shirts, and that's it. I don't care about the rest of it.
I like shirts. I do have more shirts than the average guy, but you just give me about 4 pairs of jeans. I'm right on Wranglers now. I find them more comfortable.
I wore Wranglers for years.
Yeah, they're price effective.
Right?
Too.
Yeah, they're a lot less money, aren't they?
Would you rather live in Austin, Texas, or Los Angeles, California?
No question. Austin, Texas.
Okay, me too. This is a good one. I like this one. Would you rather drink hot chocolate with marshmallows or with whipped cream?
Whipped cream.
Really?
I can't stand marshmallows.
Really?
So that's a bias.
Well,
so.
I don't buy the marshmallows, but I take a scoop of marshmallow from the jar and put it in. Yeah. Would you rather get sprayed by a skunk or puked on by a cat?
Oh, puked on by a cat.
Yep.
One of them you can wash off. The other one you can't.
The other one lives with you for quite a while. Mm-hmm. Tomato juice was always the best.
I have had, of course, I had cats, so
Yep.
It's invariable that you're going to get barfed on.
Oh, yeah.
And I came that close to getting peed on by a skunk.
My grandfather showed
Close
me.
enough that the smell was on me.
My grandfather was the greatest guy in the world, I swear. We did things together that just unbelievable. But one day, and this used to happen quite often, back in the old days of open dumps, we had a skunk get a jar on its head.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
And he said, and it was in my yard, and I called him, Grandpa, Grandpa. You know, I said, all right, I'll be down, stay away from it. And he walked over very quietly, and he went, walked over, picked it up by the nape of the neck, like you'd pick up a cat. Picked him up off of all fours, took the jar off, walked over, and boop, and ran. But skunk didn't do a thing.
Didn't do a thing. I read something about that.
Yeah. Now, he said, now, Billy, he says, you ever see something like this? You walk up quietly, peacefully, and all in one motion, grab him and pick him up. A skunk cannot spray you if his feet are off the ground.
Okay.
The back feet.
Yep.
He cannot
Yeah,
do
because
it.
he's got to get down. He gets up into that position.
So it happened as a teenager. And I went out and did it. My mother's screaming at me,
Oh, I can imagine. It still takes a lot of balls to go up and pick up that skunk.
Yeah.
The only time I come really close to getting sprayed was one of the first day of trout season, and I was one over on the farm, and I crossed over a fence, and it was deep grass about that big, and it wasn't a barbed wire or electric, it was just a line fence, and I pushed it down, and I pushed over. I was half over, half this way, you know. I look down, and there is one in the position. He's already got his tail thing ready to go, and I thought, oh my God, I'm dead. And we stared at each other for a little bit. I didn't move, he didn't move, and then he finally relaxed and kind of wandered to us. I'm just going to stay here. You just get where you're going to go. Another time we almost lost the kitchen. The kitchen, those French doors.
Yeah.
Right there. And we had a Siamese cat, and it was a hot evening, and the door's open, and there's a screen there, and the cat is growling out there. And it was a Siamese, and they make noise for just to hear themselves make noise, and he's growling and making. I said, "What the hell's he doing?" I walked out. I turned the outside light on. He's nose to nose with a stinking skunk on the other side of that screen, and the skunk is already getting up this thing to let him have it right through this. Well, that one came right through the screen into the kitchen. And I reached down, grabbed the cat with one hand and the door with the other one, threw the cat one way and the door the other way. I said, boy, that was close.
That was, I bet you your life passed before your very eyes
Oh,
on
yeah,
that one.
I just couldn't imagine him spraying in the kitchen. It just,
Oh, that would have made you son number one.
oh,
You would have gone right to the top.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what else am I
Oh.
here?
Have a picnic at the beach or one in the mountains.
What beach?
Nantasket. No, Hosnick.
I think the mountains. Years ago it would have been the beach, but I'm not much for getting full of sand and shit
Yeah,
anymore.
that's exactly it. You know, the beach would be nice if it weren't for the sand.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. The scenery is much nicer at
Oh,
the
yeah.
beach.
Both the human and the background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have infinite money or infinite knowledge.
I'll take knowledge because if you got the knowledge, you can get the money.
Yeah. Or if I take the money and I can buy the knowledge.
Buy the knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can have a couple of guys standing by.
That's true too.
Fame or power?
Oh, power.
Yeah.
Fame is
Yeah.
fleeting.
Yeah. And power, you can change things.
That's right.
Power can be used for the good.
That's right. And fame, I think you get tired. You got to get tired of being famous.
Yeah.
You know, we can go out, go have a hamburger and a beer in a restaurant someplace. Nobody
cares.
Nobody cares. Some of these people, I mean, they get mobbed all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bobby Orr.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Wealth or power?
Wealth.
Yeah.
You can
yeah,
hide that.
because you can buy all the power you
Want,
need
yeah.
if you got the money. Yeah. Sightsee in Africa or shop in Milan?
Oh, I'll go sightseeing.
Yeah. I think I'll go to Milan. I think it's probably a lot safer.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah. I always wanted to do one of them safari things. Not where they trek back into the, I mean, where you stay in a fancy place and they take you
Yeah.
out on these cheap whatever things are to show you this and show you that, and then come back in and have a steak dinner and
Yeah. There you go.
that's the kind of safari I'm thinking of.
Yeah. And you're in a 5-star hotel.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Or even their campgrounds are like hotels. You know?
You can live with that. Then now this one's a beauty. Bungee jump or skydive?
Oh my God. I think I'd take the skydive.
Me too.
I just don't trust a rubber band.
Can you imagine what happens when that rubber band breaks?
You got no alternative. At least skydive, there's secondary chutes and
Yeah. And not only that, I would, the only way I would skydive would be if I had a professional with me and they
oh, of
buckle you
course.
together.
Yeah.
Now this one, I'm waiting for you to comment on this one. Dance in a ballet or sing in a musical?
Do you know how unlikely either one of those are?
Well, this is all just hypothetical.
I'll sing in a musical.
Okay.
Because my tutu don't fit anymore.
Right. I don't quite see me walking around on my toes.
No, me neither.
Take vitamins or eat vegetables?
Take the vitamins. I'm not a veggie person. I do. That's exactly what I do.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I go through the same thing at my house. Be reincarnated as a dog or a cat?
Oh boy. Cat.
Yeah, I think so.
If you're coming in as a pet, I don't know. Dogs got some real disgusting habits.
Yeah, and dogs in the house tend to be clumsy and, yeah, I'm a cat person, always have been.
And the cat's more content to be with himself.
Yeah.
Take a nap.
Yep.
Look out the window.
Yeah. And I've had cats before. All my cats were indoor, outdoor. And they spoke to me all the time, you know. That means,
Yeah.
let me out, you know. And they'd go out. Because then in the middle of the night, they'd come to the bedroom window, you know. That meant it's time to come in.
Come
you
in,
know,
yeah.
2:30 in the morning. I mean, you really like that. Oh, Dwayne, the next three, the final three are beauties.
Okay.
Date a doctor or a lawyer?
Oh my God. Lawyer.
Yeah. I think in either case, you're going to be giving your marching orders.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. I would probably take the lawyer, but
I think the lawyer can leave the law office easier than the doctor leaving the doctor's office.
and the doctor seeing you groaning and moaning
Yeah, and
and
saying,
what's wrong
How long you
now?
had that spot behind your ear?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, here's number 2 of the 3. Broccoli or cauliflower?
That's 2 of them. I wouldn't care if some kind of fungus got the whole world market on it. And we never saw it again. Broccoli or cauliflower. The only way I'll eat either one was with a whole lot of cheese sauce on it.
You got
You
it.
can't taste what's underneath it.
That's right.
Both of them stink.
If you said it has to be done without cheese, I would take the broccoli. But the cauliflower.
Although
chewing on
cauliflower
it is-
raw, it's not too bad.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't
it's
think
like
I've ever had
like
it
raw cabbage. But you cook it and it steaks.
Carrots or radishes?
Oh, radishes.
See, I'm carrots.
I love radishes. Well, I'll eat carrots, but I don't like them.
I like carrots. Yeah, that's my favorite vegetable.
I like them raw again better than cooked.
Yeah.
Right. We go through a ship. Well, you know how we both buy those chickens at BJ's. You can get a couple meals out of them, and then she makes soup. I think
Yeah.
Sue does the same thing with the carcass. And she always was chopping up certain vegetables in it. I would prefer just the broth and some noodles, maybe some onions. But and then she'd serve the soup, put it on, and she'd stay over there by the stove, and I'm in there digging them things out, sticking it in her bowl. Sometimes I get caught, but sometimes she'll look down. She says, "No, there wasn't that many onions or carrots and stuff in mine when I went over." I said, "I told you, don't chop them up so small. If you leave them big, then I only got to pick 2, 3 of them and throw them out. The way you got them now, I got to keep picking at them."
I've told my wife that, the vegetables in the chicken soup or the turkey soup are great. Just make sure they're all onions or celery.
Yeah, I don't even want celery in there.
Oh, I like celery. Celery and carrots, that's it.
And I do like radishes. We used to.
Oh, and corn on the cob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
Any
really,
corn product.
yeah, I like that. Yeah.
I like string beans.
No. Yeah. Well, that's it until next time.
Good.
I saw a statistic the other day, Dwayne. I don't believe it.
What?
American adults check their phones 144 times a day.
I don't know how many, but I know damn well they check them a lot.
Yeah.
People do.
Always look at the stupid things.
Yeah.
What do they expect is going to happen?
I always said, how important are you? that you got to keep checking to see if somebody's checking on you or trying to get a hold of you for something.
How about the people that get up at night
Yeah.
to check their phones and then try to get back to sleep?
My phone's not even on most of the time.
That's right.
Unfortunately, both of us do that.
My
and if we got to
phone
get
is-
the other one, and then you say, "Damn it, she ain't got enough phone on," and she'll do the same thing with me because I'm not phone dependent. There's nobody. I always say if somebody's trying to get a hold of me, they'll leave a message someplace, and I'll get back to them.
I don't understand. You know what's amazing? Now, I do all the food shopping at my
Okay.
house. Women have now performed, they've developed a skill, and that is basketing with one hand while talking on the cell phone for the other while shopping.
Well, shopping, yeah.
And I've been tempted to say to the lady that's doing this, coming at me, does that help you shop better? Are you getting advice on stuff? But I know what the answer would be. It would be to mind your own business.
Yeah,
you
get out of the
creep.
way, pervert.
Yeah, exactly. Try your perversion someplace else. Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah, I don't know what the phone attraction is, but we go out to eat, you'll see a table.
Yeah.
Mom and Pop and three of kids, and they all got, every one of them's got a phone, and they're all got their face in the phone. They don't talk to each other. What are they doing on that phone?
Beats the hell out of me. Well, Mary Ann said she was going to email me pictures of Judy's little last birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so that you're interrupting dinner for that?
Yeah.
While I'm on my complain campaign today, don't you love the guys that have a big chain attached to their belt with about 35 keys on it?
Always wondered,
What
in the hell are all those keys for?
Yeah.
And he looks like he doesn't own much in his life anyway. It's
doesn't
never
have a
the-
lot going either.
No, I mean, usually, what are those keys? I always thought, well, maybe there's a store someplace that sells them by the pound.
Yeah.
And you buy a couple pounds of keys and put
Jingle
them on.
them
Yeah.
or something, yeah, and warn people that you're
Excuse me,
coming.
I have no idea what they're doing with them.
I mean, probably a key to a car that he owned
Yeah,
5
that's what I
or
said,
6
maybe
cars ago. And this one, that's my Aunt Mabel's back shed. Oh, great. Where does Aunt Mabel live? Oh, in Kansas.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I come across keys that I throw in like a jewelry box and I come across a couple. What the hell was this from? And I don't know. So I throw it away.
Yeah, me too. I get hell for it, but
Yeah.
Yep. Now, I guess. Oh, okay. They had a little blurb on TV, and I saw this on, believe it or not, a couple of different networks. It's the same survey.
10.
Number one concern among voters in the upcoming presidential election. You know, you and I could have probably come up with the top 4 with our eyes closed without even thinking of it. Number 1, immigration. Number 2, government. Number 3, the economy. And number 4, inflation. As far as I'm concerned, economy and inflation's the same thing. Sort of, anyway. But this is what is concerning like 80% of the voters in this country.
Well, part of that is what they hear every day.
Oh, yeah.
And you can't read a newspaper, you can't turn TV or radio, anything. You get those same things over and over, either one side or the other, but the same subject. So it's always in the forefront.
It does. But you know what? I think that the media is reflecting what people's concerns are.
To a certain extent.
Yeah. Well, when they go shopping, it certainly concerns them. And
That's probably more, that is probably in actuality. I can't see somebody worrying about immigration going to the supermarket and bread's $5
now, this is a large, diverse country.
Mm-hmm.
There are sections of the country that are being bombarded by illegal immigrants.
Oh, there are.
And I mean, this is their number one concern. You know, they're working for 85 cents an hour at the car wash. How the hell can my kid get a job there for $14 an hour when
but they can't find anybody.
Well, that's
the problem.
That's
too.
it. Yeah. Does anyone chew gum anymore?
A few people do.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen anyone chewing gum for I don't know how long. Of course, I'm not on the lookout for it either. But I did see a lady chewing gum the other day, and I said, wow, I haven't seen anyone chewing gum for 10 years, I think. Oh, well.
You know, Pete Carroll keeps him in business. He chaws. He's going to break a tooth or something.
Do you know why he still has a job?
I don't know.
Me. I mean, he has not been a good coach. Boy. Well, one other thing I have here in my list of complaints that I really am ripped about is National Public Radio. We underwrite that as taxpayers.
Yes, we do.
And the president, or whatever her title is, Catherine Maher, said that explaining the truth is an outdated concept.
Yeah.
And adhering to the truth might get in the way of finding common ground.
I would put NPR people, or the organization, in a big pot with a lot of other organizations. ACLU could dump in there.
BLM?
BLM. NAACP.
Certain different union heads.
Exactly. You could all put them in a pot, shut the cover, and put them in a closet. Just leave them alone.
And all Massachusetts politicians.
Yes. The Boston City Council. Oh, Lord, did you see what they had last week? The week before? What were they? Boston City Council calls for permanent ceasefire in Gaza. Well, if that doesn't solve it, nothing will.
Well, it brought everything to a screeching halt over there.
Oh, yeah, because the Boston City Council said it must stop.
What those clowns?
They don't solve the Boston problems. They go on these things like, who the hell are you to say what's going on internationally? Remember, they used to argue whether Red China should be brought into the United Nations.
You know, in all truthfulness, if those people were put in clown suits,
yeah, exactly,
they would be appropriately dressed. The city of Boston must be proud.
Oh, they got to be.
Got to be. And one of the last note about NPR.
Yep.
They polled the editors of NPR, 87 of them. All 87 were Democrats. Not a single Republican writer.
That goes to stand without reason. And what bothers me about it is not, I don't give tinker's damn about their political persuasion. What I'm concerned about is it's my tax dollar, and they pay salaries that are anywhere from 40 to 100 and some percent higher than comparable positions in the industry.
Yeah, she gets an outlandish salary.
Outlandish salaries they get.
I hope, sincerely, that if Trump is elected president, his first thing is axing the money that goes to NPR, saying you're on your own.
Yeah, I know.
Boy. Well, we got about 3 minutes to go, Dwayne. I think we could probably abuse this subject. The Boy Scouts are going to
He's called Scouts.
merge, I guess, with the Girl Scouts.
Well, the Scouts of America now.
Yeah.
Scouts, yep.
Now, didn't know this, but they've been admitting girls.
Oh, yeah. They got sued for it
Yeah.
because they had facilities or programs that the girls didn't.
But
And-
doesn't Boy Scouts of America mean anything?
No. Boys, when this happened about 5 or 6 years ago,
Yeah, I remember that.
there was some girls that wanted, they didn't have an Eagle program. And the Boy Scouts do. They can go up like they're 18, 19 years. I don't know what the age is anymore, but they're older older teens.
Yeah.
And the program is very involved. I mean, that's very disciplined. They had to achieve a lot of things to become an Eagle Scout. Girls didn't have it, so they sued, and I think it's under Title IX. And so consequently, they were allowed to join Boy Scouts. And Boy Scouts were always more active, camping and adventure trips and all this kind of stuff. And then, of course, Boy Scouts ran into that sexual deviation with the
Once
counselor.
again, you mix boys with girls. What in hell do you think is going to happen?
This was man on boys.
Yeah, well, that's
was
bad too.
And then they got sued there. They got sued here, and then they had to end up declaring bankruptcy.
Yeah, scandalous amount of money.
Now now they say, well, they never wanted to let boys go into the Girl Scouts. Well, first of all, none of the Boy Scouts wanted to go into Girl Scouts because they didn't do
Maybe a
anything.
handful, but who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
The most exciting thing they did was sell cookies.
Mm-hmm.
But so I'm not saying anything wrong with about Girl Scouts because they do a good thing for girls. But I mean, it just wasn't the type of thing that boys want.
Listen, God made us different.
But I can see them having scouts, just scouts. There's nothing wrong with that. I think they need to learn to get along.
Just go back. Just remember my words. Put them together, and what's going to happen?
Well, it's going to happen anyway.
I know, but this, just seems as though
Because
we're intent
at a
upon.
certain level, they're ready together.
Yeah, and it's a much younger level now there than it used
Yeah.
to was be. But
I'm not sure how many girls. We'll see how
Yeah.
that shakes out.
But I'll tell
I
you-
don't really see that. That's another thing with me. I got enough of my own problems. I don't need to take care of your problems. So
It's like vanilla and chocolate ice cream, and you throw it in the blender.
Mm-hmm.
Boys and girls together, and there's sparks of excitement.
I was in Boy Scouts, and we didn't have any
That
girls.
was back in the caveman days.
Yeah, we did have
Yeah.
caves and a
I was never
club,
in the
and
Boy Scouts. No,
I never had the money to go to camp or anything.
no. But you know what? You say that, but like my grandfather would take us camping.
Oh, I went camping,
Yeah.
but not.
Well, I mean, it was 100 yards in back of the house, but there was the woods.
Boy Scouts camp cost $7 for 2 weeks.
And, yeah,
We didn't have it.
no,
So
those were the facts of life. Yeah.
okay, well, I'm getting the old
All right.
tomahawk chop
So-
here. That's it.
Then, folks, we shall allow you to have a break whilst we retool for the second half of the show, and we'll be right back.